Good morning to day 3 of this long video. Today, right, what does the day consist of? It means me getting off my arse and actually chasing out these LED tracks. It's a bit more of a mission than I thought it was going to be, purely because I think I've explained in the other previous videos, they all the LED tracks. So there's 3 strips, each one have their own driver, 24-volt driver. Now 3 have been sent. I was under the impression I could actually interlink all 3 and then run one driver, which would be located over, can't see where I am, over here somewhere, wherever it is on the wall. But I've been told now that each one needs its own driver. So the first one will come down this straight here and probably end about here somewhere. Hard to do it on a camera. I'd have to connect that one to the next set of lights. That's what I thought I was going to do. So connecting one set into the next set, and the second set into the third set, and the third set into a driver. Apparently that's not going to be the case. Apparently I have to connect, each one of those has to go all the way back to the wall with its own driver. So I'm now going to have a cable coming from this corner here, all the way along here, all the way along there, all the way back to the wall. And then wherever the other one's going to land up, let's say it's over here somewhere, another cable going from here all the way back to the wall over there. So there's going to be 2 reasonably long lengths of cable going in this track all the way back to the drivers. The downside to that is the track itself is just about big enough and wide enough, thick enough and deep enough to take the actual track and the light. For me to now put a cable in there, I need to go deeper, can't go wider, and also the track gets drilled into the floor. So obviously if I have a cable in the floor and I'm drilling into the floor as well, then I have an issue with potentially drilling into the cable. So I'm going to have a look at the track today to see if there's any form of room underneath where the conduit itself, let me get the conduit so I'll show you what I mean. The aluminium conduit, which you might have already seen in the previous videos, which is this here. As you can see, in fact let me spin it around. So it's meant to be 17mm by 15mm. And as you can see, there's holes in the bottom of it where you can actually drill the conduit into the floor, and then the light itself sits in the conduit. Now the conduit itself, as you can see, you might be able to see, has a little lip at the very bottom. So I'm not too sure, sorry about the zoom, I'm not too sure if I can actually get a cable going in that little track at the bottom, or whether that is another way of the LED light clipping in. So I'm going to get the light out in a minute and fit it into one of the conduits to see what it fits like, because I might be able to get a very thin cable and run it underneath the conduit, which means I can silicone inside the hole itself, I can pre-drill and screw down the actual conduit, then I can run the cable all the way underneath the second set of tracks and then put the LED light down on top of it, if that's not being used and if I can find a cable thin enough. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but you know, it's worth a try. If I don't do that, then I need to try and find a cable that's thin enough to try and go down the side, if I can, of each one of the conduits. But some of them are bloody tight going in width-wise, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. The other option, obviously, is to run it along the floor where I can drill down and hide it underneath the track, but then I've got the issue of potentially drilling into it when I'm fixing the conduits to the floor. These things are sent to try us, as they say. I keep hearing people on the beach today. I've still got to clear up the mess that I made the other day, obviously in the tile. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to clear this up first. I'm not going to do the tile at the moment. I probably will end up doing the tiles myself rather than getting someone out, because who the hell's going to want to come out just to fit 2 tiles? So I might just have a go at trying to cut those myself somehow. I should be able to do it with a little grinder wheel. I will try. If I break the tile, then I'll have to try another tile. But anyway, so I'm going to clear that up first, get that all cleared away, and get that ready to have the tiles put in. I may very well have a go at cutting those tiles later on today to see if I can get them cut, and if I can, then I'll fit them on. And that'll be reasonably straightforward. I want to go and obviously get the disc grinder out and all the batteries out, getting ready to actually cut out here. So I'm going to cut that track deeper for now until I find out what the hell's going on with the cable itself. I just want to try and get the slot deep enough to actually house the conduit in the first place. If you remember right, it's about 1 mil, just a bit too proud. So by the time I put silicone in there and screw it down, it still will be the same mil obviously, but it's going to squelch out. And so I want to try and get that in and cut out as soon as possible. And I'm going to chase up the electrician today about how he's getting on with trying to source the cable. He's aware of the problem, so hopefully he can help me with a solution. Okay, let me quickly take you around the front. I showed you yesterday briefly the painting, so we'll have a quick look at that. But in the meantime, I'll show you what Sherwin is up to. Sherwin is actually trying to make the manholes look pretty, if that's even a possibility. How do you make a manhole pretty? But anyway, I think you'll agree the one that he did over here is 10 times nicer looking. Now it's been benched in and stained. It looks 10 times better than these. So he's been busy. So he's got one done already by the looks of it. So that's got to dry and draw. Yeah, it looks 10 times better. Bloody hell. Fair play to you, Sherwin. So that looks so much nicer. Oh, it's got a bit of porn music going on as well. Oh, he says as it stops. So yeah, at the moment we've obviously got them marked up. We'll get them benched in. Once they're benched in, then we can get them smoothed up, let them dry, and then tomorrow we can stain those. They'll look 10 times nicer, and they are going to protrude out of the ground more than I wanted to. I don't really want to be adding any more height to here. But really what I should be doing is, to say, putting this dust sheet down, getting well, I call it type 2, but they call it 2 down here. They should get some 2 down on here by about 1.5 inches, getting it flattened and putting the actual grass on top of that. But I'm going to start off by trying to put it down without that and just see what it looks like. And then I may do the 2 down afterwards. The wall, I think you'll agree, looks absolutely amazing. And we've actually got phase 2 of the sign out the front. Let me know what you think. Now that we've gone with the green and grey, I think you'll find it looks absolutely amazing, and we've actually got a new sign. So we've taken off the white one and we've gone with the grey. Let me know in the comments below what you think. White or grey with the grey? I think it is definitely the grey. And I've actually got this in an LED box as well. So it's got a little solar panel on the top of it. Charges up obviously during the day, and at night that all glows up in LED. It looks really awesome. So I may very well, if this grey works, get that fitted. But this one's very, very simple. It was just a pull off and push on. They've got these little female clips and males on the back, and they just pop on and pop off. So yeah, I think you'll agree. The grey looks, the greeny grey looks absolutely amazing, and really does set the house off completely different. So very happy with how that's turned out. Anyway, other than that, I'm going to leave you to it, and I'm going to go roll my sleeves up and get the grinder out. Me and my love affair with the grinder. And I'll also check the LED tracks to see whether the actual LED light does fit all the way down in that conduit, and I'll check with you later on and let you know whether I have any luck. Fingers crossed. Okay, it's just a quick update before I carry on. Let me show you the luck I've had. A little bit of luck, but with all luck comes a little bit of a caveat. So this is the actual light itself. It slots in, as you can see. It slots in quite flush. Down the bottom, you can just about see a gap. Now that gap, I would say, is only about 2 mil, maybe 3 max, but it actually does sit on the little tiny aluminium recess there, look. So there is a gap going all the way through. Now, is it wide enough to get a cable through? I literally do not know. I don't know how small we can get a cable here, but as you can see, even this is a pain in the arse. This, I've got to wait to get the connectors from the UK that come out the end. So they've sent me the wrong ones. They've connected them all with a side connector, and they've all got to be connected. All the cables have got to try and come out straight from underneath to go into the other. So they've got to come out of underneath here. Sorry, trying to get it to zoom in. No, it's not having it. So they've got to come straight out of there into the next one. So there's, it obviously can't come out the side. This cable has got to be extended straight out the bottom of there in order to continue. And as you can see, their cables, I mean, the cable itself definitely won't go in there. I mean, if you pulled the actual white off, you'd probably get all 4 of these flat. They would go in there, but you'd have to get them out of this white conduit, that's for sure. Otherwise, it definitely wouldn't work. So we might be able to get this cable here. I don't know what you call this. Let me know in the comments below if anyone knows what size this is. It's a very, very small, thin cable. And what does it say on here? Obviously upside down. It doesn't like zooming, does it? there, I might be able to read that one. Anyway, it's a 4-core cable. It's got a silicone outside. 5-core cable, sorry. 5-core cable. So let me know what size each one of these are, because we can definitely get 4 of these in separate if we can actually get them to stay flat. That would fit in there. Just. So it could be a potential. So fingers crossed, not great news, not bad news. So fingers crossed we should be able, if we can get that, if we can source that thin cable, and we can try and get it to run dead flat inside without it, obviously every time you try and put the cable in popping up, we'll probably have to silicone it down, and then put the conduit straight, the LED light strip straight over the top of it. So might actually prevent us being able to run the cable underneath. So we better put the track in, fix it down after we siliconed it, and then run the cables through the flat bottom, and then put the LED through it on top. That's the option, fingers crossed. Okay, in the meantime, being around the pool, probably natural evaporation. Let me show you the trough. We've got quite a low water level, so I've taken the opportunity to cut these off, cut the mains water off, and then potentially need to go and buy some parts so I can get that put on. So all we've got to do is basically come out the wall now, take this down, back up again, remount that where that is there. So fingers crossed, that will then take it up and probably give us around about this body plus about that much of water, so about 13 inches of water. But what I don't have is this threaded piece here, so I'm going to have to undo that, bin that, and then get the threaded piece to glue into here. So I should go and get that soon and install that, and then we can turn the water back on again, and hopefully that's cut back far enough so that when we actually get the grills from A&E Pumps and Mechanical, we can actually fit those and have something a little bit nicer to look at, rather than what in effect was a manky bit of concrete ridden pipe. Just in the midst of obviously setting up here as well. Made the first cut to make sure we're okay. That's pretty much how deep we need it. And at the moment, yeah, so quite a bit we need to cut down. So I'm going to try it dry for now to see what happens, and then need to get to water in there so I don't actually burn another blade out. So I'm going to crack on with that now, and then go and get some parts so I can get that fitted and finished off. Okay, judging by my face, you can tell why I've been trying to put off the grinding. Shit, I'm too old for this, you know. Way too old for this. Okay. The track now on this side, which is one I've been putting off, this bit here, all the way along, is now just about ready to have the aluminium track put in. The difficulty with it is you're using a... The difficulty is you are actually using a diamond bit grinding disc, so you want to try and keep them wet, otherwise they burn out really quick. I'm going to say quick, they don't burn out that quick actually, but you want to try and make them last because they're not cheap. But at the same time, you want to be able to see what you're doing. So as soon as you start cutting into what in effect is tile mortar, it goes all cloudy and you can't see what the hell you're doing. So anyway, most of it is done. So I've literally gone along, penciled the lines on the length, cut that piece, tested it, gone back to the next bit, measured again, make sure I get that bit done, just done it bit by bit. So that bit is nearly done. I don't remember how well I did this one. I know I was rushing it, so I might have to go over all of it in all fairness at some stage. But at the moment, all of it goes in this side and it's level. And as I showed you on the camera earlier on, we might get a way of actually running the wires underneath the track itself. Not ideal, that's for sure. But it's certainly something we will end up doing. I seem to have lost my keys, so I was going to put some stuff away from ago, but I seem to have mislaid them. Did put them down last night and they've gone walkies. Now my wife, she's put them somewhere safe. You lovely ladies always put men's stuff safe. Anyway, let's have a look around here what Sherwin's been doing. Sherwin leaves early on Thursdays now because his wife, as far as I'm aware, is going back to some form of university, so that's awesome. So he leaves a little bit early to go and pick up the little one. So it looks like he's managed to get 2 of them done so far. So let's have a quick look at what they look like. Okay. So, all right, there that's better. I did ask him to increase the height of this corner, which he hasn't, so he might have to look at doing that. That's gone sloping down. It's got a slight crack there as well. This one's done as well. I mean, they look so much nicer. So fingers crossed I don't crack and blow. Then he's got that one left to do. So again, once they're done and they've dried out, we can get them stained. We can pull this back over. We should be bringing in some 2 down. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I should do it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the sheet out, like I said earlier on. I'm going to roll out the AstroTurf down this side, which is going to be where the cut's going to be. So this will be a 4-foot cut. Then we'll roll the other one over the top. We'll use that one as a score line. We'll take the second one back up again. We'll take the off cut out. We'll roll the second one back down. And then I've actually got some jointing tape specifically for AstroTurf coming from the UK. So we'll get those stuck together and we'll see what it looks like. If it looks okay, certainly with these hanging out by about 2 inches, then we'll leave it as it is. If it doesn't, then we'll roll them back up again. Ball ache, I know, but we'll then get the 2 down after that. But I don't think there's any point in bringing any more material in here if we don't need to. So we'll see what we can do. And again, in this light, now that the house is shadowed, I mean, it really does look like a grey wall, doesn't it? It looks beautiful. So yeah, very, very happy with that. I will probably hang on until tomorrow and film, obviously, these manholes being finished off and stained up. And then I'll finish the week and I'll post the video. So anyone that's watching it now, sorry for the delay, but I think it's better we try and cram in what we're doing in 1 week into one video and then upload it so you guys have got one good video to watch rather than a number of different ones all pretty much doing the same thing. Thanks for watching anyway in the meantime. Thanks for the 893 subscribers as of today. Thanks for the comments as well, and I'll check in with you guys at some stage.